Yeah, hello everyone. Is my voice audible, guys? Okay, so I have given the permissions to unmute yourself. So whenever you guys have the doubt, you guys can unmute yourself and you can ask. Okay. Okay. So from today, we are going to start workshop on REST API development with Node and Express.js. So this is like workshop, guys. Okay. This is completely like workshop. So here I'm going to take 3 to 5 sessions. I will take 3 to 5 sessions, minimum 3 sessions, maximum 5 sessions. All the sessions are completely free. And after these sessions, I am pretty sure that you will be able to develop REST APIs using Node.js and Express.js. So to attend this workshop, you should have some prerequisite. So let me just explain you prerequisite itself. So the prerequisite is you should be aware of JavaScript. You should have knowledge on JavaScript. Like if you don't know JavaScript, then it will be very difficult for you to understand the sessions. So the prerequisite is JavaScript. With JavaScript, if you know basics of HTML and CSS, that would be great. So if you know basics of HTML, CSS with JavaScript, that would be great. So this is the prerequisite. So if you are aware of this, then only you will be able to understand whatever topics I will teach. So if you are not aware of JavaScript, then you have to learn first JavaScript, then you have to learn REST API development. Okay. Yeah. So every day our sessions will be from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. This will be our slot. But today is our first session, so very less people have joined. So what I will do, today's session I will keep little short, so that people will be informed, and let's see whether those people will join tomorrow or not. Okay. But basically our session should be from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So every day after the sessions, I will provide you the recordings. I will provide you the recordings, plus I will provide you the notes in the form of paint files, plus I will provide you some PDFs. So both I am going to provide. I will provide paint files, plus I will provide you the PDFs. Okay. I hope everybody joined WhatsApp community. So all the notes, your recording links, everything I will post on our WhatsApp community so that it can reach everyone. So make sure you guys are joining the WhatsApp community channel. Okay. So anyways, I have given that WhatsApp community channel link on your WhatsApp. So I have messaged everyone personally as well. So I hope you have received it. So in case if you did not join so that I can share information with you guys. Okay. Yeah. So let's start our sessions now. So our workshop will be less theoretical. It will be more practical. So I will cover very less theoretical content and it will be more practical content. It will be like 20-80%. 20% I will cover theoretical part, 80% I will cover practical part. So if you guys do whatever I do after this session, it will be very helpful for you. So let's start our discussion with what is REST API, because our title is REST API Development. So first we need to understand exactly what is REST API. So if you guys are aware of what is REST API, then you can unmute yourself or you can use chat to answer if you know the answer of what is REST API. Even if you know little bit, you guys can express. Anybody knows, guys, what is REST API? Okay, so let me explain you what is REST API. Basically, REST API is a type of API. It is one of the type of API. So what is API then? So basically, API stands for Application Programming Interface. So basically, API is nothing but it is an interface using which we can exchange data between two different applications. What is API? API is a interface. It is an interface, or you can call it as a messenger, which helps to exchange data between two different applications. So API is a interface, or you can say it as a messenger, which helps to exchange data between two different applications. What is the meaning of that? Let's assume that you are creating React application. You have React.js application. And you have one more application, that is your Node application. You have here Node.js application. Now my requirement is some data I want to send from my React application to Node application. Some data I want to send. In the same way, maybe sometimes I have to send some data from Node application to my React application. So whenever you have such requirement to share the data from one application to another application, or from this application to this application, in that case, we are going to implement APIs. APIs are nothing but we are going to implement REST APIs. As I have said, REST API is one of the type of API. So basically there are four types of APIs. You have REST API, you have SOAP API, you have GraphQL API, you have gRPC APIs. So there are four types of APIs. So the first one is your REST API. We have SOAP API. We have GraphQL API. And we have something called gRPC API. These are the four types of APIs. Now, in our workshop, we are going to learn how to develop REST APIs. So I will upload one dedicated session on explaining what is REST API, what is SOAP API, what is GraphQL API, what is gRPC API, which API when to choose, what is the difference between them. Like, we have a lot of stuff to learn. But if I start explaining those stuffs, then our session will be more theoretical part. So right now I am keeping that part in the hold. So we will explore later on what are the types of API. What is the difference between them? So right now we will just focus only on REST API. Because it is workshop, we have limited time. So we want to learn more about REST API instead of learning other stuff. So our workshop is completely dedicated towards REST APIs only. So as I have mentioned, REST APIs are one of the type of API. Okay. Any doubts, guys? Anyone have any doubts up to here? Understood what is API and what is REST API till here?
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Sir, sir,
Yeah.
we're just learning about the REST API only, or remaining
We are
also?
going to learn only REST API. Okay. Then in coming workshops, I will conduct GraphQL API. This is also becoming very popular. SOAP API is outdated. This is very old pattern. Right now, no one uses this. gRPC is little getting demand, not much. But right now, REST APIs and GraphQL APIs are more in the demand. And in that, REST API is right now it is a present. So most of the people are using REST APIs. Like 80% of applications are developed on REST APIs. Remaining 20% are based on these types. Okay, yeah. Now we have understood what is API. API is interface or messenger which helps to exchange data between different applications. Now to develop these APIs, we required some technologies. To develop APIs, we require technologies. And they are, we have so many technologies in the market. Like we have Node Express, we have Spring Boot, we have Django, we have Laravel, we have ASP.NET Core. Like this, there are so many technologies in the market using which we can develop APIs. So if you want to develop any APIs using Node and Express, then we are going to use a language called JavaScript. Here we are going to use a programming language called JavaScript. The same way, if you want to develop APIs using Spring Boot, then we are going to use a language called Java. If you want to develop APIs using Django, then we are going to use a language called Python. If you want to develop APIs using Laravel, then here we use a language called PHP. And here we use a language called C#, something called C#. So like this, there are so many technologies in the market using which you can develop REST APIs. So the people who are learning Spring Boot, the people who are learning Django, the people who are learning Laravel, the people who are learning Node or Express, at the end, everybody will create REST APIs only. Everybody will create REST APIs. Now here I have taken the example of React application, Node application. Now instead of React Node, we can have React Spring Boot also. We can have Spring Boot and Node also. You can share the data between Spring Boot and Node.js also. So between any two different application. Now irrespective of on what technologies those applications are developed. So if you want to share the data between two different applications, then we have to develop REST APIs. There is no other option for us, right? So now we are going to choose this Express.js and Node.js with JavaScript to develop our REST APIs. So in future, if you learn Java, then you will be able to do with Spring Boot. If you learn Python, you will be able to do with Django. So now let's see how we can develop REST APIs with our Node and Express. So for this, we have certain requirement. So the first requirement is we have to install Node.js in our system. We have to install Node.js in our system. And remember guys, Node.js Express.js is the most easiest way to create API in the world. So we have so many technologies in the world. Now, out of all the technologies, Node and Express is one of the most easiest way to create API. Just by writing 3-4 lines of code, you will be able to create one API. That much easy it is. I will explain you how easy it is. Today we will create one API. So what we have to do? For that, first we have to install Node.js. So can I know, is there anybody who did not install Node.js in their system? Is there anyone in our class? Like if you never installed Node.js in your system, let me know on the chat. Okay, if you did not install Node.js, it's okay. Just I wanted to confirm how many of you installed, how many of you did not install yet. So if anyone is there who did not install Node.js till now, let me know. I will tell you how to install it. If everybody already installed Node.js, then we can skip this part. Is there anybody? Is there anyone guys who did not install Node.js? You want, you can unmute yourself and you can talk. So I'm not getting any message. It means everybody installed. Okay. So let me explain you how to install Node.js. It's very simple. So what you have to do, you have to go to the browser and here you have to search for nodejs.org. When you search for nodejs.org, you will land on their official site. Now here you have one button called Get Node.js. Click on that Get Node.js. You will land down their download page. Now scroll down. Here you have button Windows Installer. So based on your operating system, you will get that suggestion. Right now I'm using Windows operating system. So I got here Windows Installer. If you are using Mac, you will get Mac. If you are using Linux, you will get Linux. Now just click on this Windows Installer. One file will be downloaded. See, one file is downloaded. So go to your downloads. And this is what your .msi file will be. This is like our installer file. So once it is downloaded, just double click on it. It will open one wizard. Wait for few seconds. This next button will be enabled. So now next button enabled. Click on this next. Select this checkbox. Again click on next. Again click on next. Again click on next. Again click on next. Now you got install button. Click on install. That's it. Very simple installation. So once Node.js is installed in your system, then you will get this finish pop-up. Click on this finish. It will close. Now we have to verify whether Node.js is installed in our system or not. So for that, what you have to do, you have to open your terminal. So I'm opening here command prompt. Now here you have to type a command called node space -v. V stands for version. If you press on enter button, you will see some version name. If you find here some version number, it means Node.js is installed successfully in your system. Now, instead of this version number, if you get here some message, suppose if you get like this some message, Node is not recognized as internal or external command, it means Node.js is not installed. So this is how we install Node.js in our system. This is the first thing. Second, after installing Node.js, second thing what we have to do is we have to install VS Code. And I hope you guys are coming from JavaScript background. So almost everybody might be installed VS Code in your systems. So this is our IDE. Once you install Node.js, once you install VS Code, third step is create a folder. Create a folder in any drive of your system. In any drive. So I will create one folder in my something like E drive I will create. E drive or maybe in D drive I will create. Here I will create one folder. I will say REST API workshop. Some folder I am creating. So this is the empty folder. Right now I don't have anything. Once you create that folder, now open that folder in Visual Studio Code. Open the folder in VS Code. VS Code is nothing but your Visual Studio Code. Now I can use some shortcuts here to open my folder in VS Code. So now here I'm going a little bit fast because I think everybody is aware of all these things. So here we have opened our VS Code. And in that our folder is open. Right now we don't have anything in this folder. Now what you have to do here, you have to create one file called server.js. So create a file called server.js. So inside the folder, we have to create one file called server.js, nothing but JavaScript file we have to create. So it is not mandatory that file name should be server. You can give whatever name you want. I'm just creating here a name called server. That's it. Now inside this file, what we need to do to create REST APIs, first we have to create server. We have to create a HTTP server. After creating HTTP server, we have to start the server. So if you want to develop REST APIs, first you have to create HTTP server. Once HTTP server is created, then we have to start the server. Now, how to create HTTP server? To create HTTP server, we are going to take the help of Express.js. So how to create HTTP server? So to create HTTP server, we are going to take the help of Node.js also we can use, but we will use Express.js because in Express, it is much more easier to create HTTP server. So using Express.js, we can create HTTP server. So to use Express.js, first we have to install this Express.js in our system. To use this Express.js, first we have to install this Express.js in our application or in our folder. So to install this Express.js, we have to use the command npm install express. This is the command we have to use to install this Express.js. So for that, let's go to our VS Code. Let's open our terminal first. So on the top, you will find some options here: file, edit, selection, something. After this view, there are three dots. Click on that dot. Then click on terminal, select this terminal and click on new terminal. So here terminal will open. Now here what we have to do, we have to use the command npm install express and press on enter button. The moment you press on enter button, make sure you are connected with internet. So it will take less than 5 seconds or 10 seconds to install Express in your application, nothing but in your folder. So the moment I install this Express, you will see that node_modules folder is created and two files are created: package.json, package-log.json. Now in this package.json file, you will find the information about the package which you have installed. Right now I have installed Express, right? That information will be present. See here, some object is created. Under dependencies, it is saying that we have installed Express of version 5. Now where this Express has been kept, this Express has kept inside this node_modules folder. So if I open this node_modules folder, you will see that Express.js. Here you will find Express.js. So see, here you have Express.js. But we have installed only Express. But why all these packages are showing here? Because we did not install accepts, we did not install bytes, we did not install content type. But how these packages are coming? For that, you have to understand one concept. What is that means? Dependencies. For example, we have installed Express. So Express is one package. It is a JavaScript package. Package means it is a collection of some predefined functions and objects and classes. Collection of some predefined JavaScript functions, objects, and classes. So what is Express? Express is JavaScript package. What is the meaning of JavaScript package? JavaScript package means it is a collection of some predefined. It is a collection of predefined functions, object, and classes. So basically, the people who worked on this Express, what they have done, they created one JavaScript file. And this file name they have given like Express.js. And in this file, they created so many functions. They created so many objects. They created so many classes for us. They created so many functions, so many objects, so many classes. Now this file, they call as a Express package. Sorry, JavaScript package. They call this file as a JavaScript package. So what we have done when we done npm install Express, basically we have downloaded this file. We have downloaded this file, and this file we kept in node_modules folder. Now, the people who developed this Express.js, internally they have used some other packages. They have taken the help of some other packages. For example, let's assume that they have taken the help of X package and Y package. So X package is developed by some other developers. Y is developed by some other developers. X also provides some functions, object and classes. Y also provides some functions, object and classes. So what these Express developers did, they used these functions or classes or objects of this X. In the same way, they might have used some classes, some functions, some object of Y. In the same way, the people who developed X, they might have taken the help of some X1 and X2 package. X1 package and X2 package. In the same way, maybe these people who developed Y, they might have used Y1 package. So it means Express is dependent on X and Y. X is dependent on X1 and X2. Y is dependent on Y1. And as a developer, we are dependent on Express. Our application is dependent on Express. So we are dependent on Express. Express is dependent on X and Y. X is dependent on X1, X2. Y is dependent on Y. Like this, there might be a very big hierarchy. So if you want to install X, if you want to install or use Express, then you have to install X also, you have to install Y also. If you want to use X and Y, then you have to install X1 also, you have to install X2 also. You have to install Y1 and Y2 also. Again, if X1 is dependent on any other package, we have to install those packages also. Now, manually, if I try to do like this, it will take a lot of time for me. That is the reason I am taking the help of npm. So when I say npm install Express, then npm will find out Express is dependent on how many package. Those packages are dependent on how many package. Those packages are dependent on how many package. That everything will be find by this npm, and it will download all those files, all those packages, and it will keep in node_modules folder. So here, whatever you are seeing in node_modules folder, all these are the dependent packages of Express. So internally, Express.js is dependent on this many packages, directly or indirectly. Now, how to find out Express is dependent on how many packages directly? For that, we have to visit package-log.json file. If you visit this file, here you will find all the information. So for example, here I will try to find where is my Express. Here, see. Under node modules, we have Express. Right now, we are using the version called 510. So this is the website from where Express got downloaded. This is the internal ID of Express package. This is under MIT license. Now our Express is dependent on this many packages. Here they have given the list. Now if you want to use Express, your node version should be greater than 18. So package-log.json file will provide you information of all the packages which are present in node_modules folder. So see here, Now Express is dependent on accepts. Now let's see accepts is dependent on which package. So I will search here accepts. Now see node module accepts. Now see accepts internally dependent on MIME type and negotiator. Now if you search for MIME type, now MIME type is not dependent on anyone. Maybe negotiator. Yeah, negotiator is further dependent on nothing. It is also not dependent on anything. Like this. So like this, in this package-log.json file, we can find out all the information of packages present in node_modules folder. If you see this file, there are almost 800 plus lines are there. If I scroll down, see almost 838 lines are there in this file. All the packages present in node_modules information is present. So what is node_modules? It is a folder in which all the packages are kept. So we have installed Express, but all the dependencies of Express also got downloaded and it kept in node_modules. What is package-log.json file? This file contains the information of all the packages present inside this folder. Under node_module folder, whatever packages are present, those packages information you will find in package-log.json. In package.json, you will find the information of packages which you have installed. I have installed Express, only that information. And server.js, this file we created. Here we wanted to create one HTTP server and we wanted to start the server. So how to start and create HTTP server? For this, first here we have to import Express.js. Now how to import any modules, any JavaScript files, that is the concept of JavaScript. So if you are aware of that, then you will understand here. If you are not aware of that, don't worry. In next session, I will cover that part. So here what we have to do, we have to use one predefined function called require. Require is a predefined function. Directly you can call it. And to this require function, we have to pass in double quotes our Express package name. That's it. This is called importing Express package. So when you try to import like this Express package, it returns one object to us. If it is returning one object, we can hold that object in one variable. Like this, you can hold in one variable. So to create HTTP server, first we have to import Express package. After importing Express package, we have to initialize it. How to initialize it? For that, we have to initialize it. Initialize the Express package. To initialize this Express package, what we have to do? This Express we have to call like a function. So when you call this Express like a function, it returns one object to us. We can hold that object in one variable. So when you import your Express package, after initializing the Express package, it returns one object. Now, using this object, we can create server and we can start the server. How to create and start the server? For that, there is one predefined function called listen, which is present inside app object. So inside this app object, there is a function called listen. Just we have to call that function called listen. Now this listen function will take two arguments. The first argument is port number and second argument is one callback function. So port number is nothing but it is like a unique number for your server. It is like a unique ID for your server inside your system. It's like ID. Like whenever we join our schools or colleges, college management will assign some ID to us. to recognize we us. So when you join any schools or any colleges, that college management will provide you one ID. Why they will provide ID? So that they can recognize you. In the same way, now when HTTP server is one application, one program. Now in my system, so many programs are working, so many programs are running. So how your operating system will come to know where is your HTTP server? For that, we have to assign one ID to our HTTP server. And that ID we are going to call as a port number. So here I will create one variable const port, and here I will assign one number. So we can assign the number from 3000 to 5000. In between 3000 to 5000, basically from 3000 to 49s we can assign. But better to assign in between 3000 to 5000. Because we don't know in our system how many programs are running in the background and on which port number they are working. So two programs cannot run on the same port numbers. So generally, the predefined programs which are installed in your system, those run on the port number which are from 0 to 3000. In between 0 to 3000, some port number is allocated to them. So at safe side, better to use port number in between 3000 to 5000. At safe side. So I am assigning port number as a 3000. So that 3000 will become the ID for my HTTP server. Now who will create HTTP server? This listen function will create. So this listen function will do two things. First, it will create HTTP server and it will start our server on this port number, whatever you are assigning here. So for port, you are assigning 3000. So on 3000, your HTTP server will start. Now, once your HTTP server is started successfully, then this callback function will be called. So when this callback function will be called, if your server is successfully created and it is started. So what we can do for our confirmation, we can add here console.log of server started. So if you get this message in your console, it means successfully you created server and you started server. So see how much lines we have written. One line. This is the line number 2, line number 3, line number 4. Only 4 lines to create HTTP server. Now here you can use node and you can say server. When you run node server, your server got started. See, our cursor is waiting here. It means our server is in the running state. Our server is in the running state. Now what we need to do, we have to create API. We have to create API. So here now create API. Which API? By default, it will create REST API. So Express.js will create REST API for us by default. So how to create REST API? To create this REST API, we have to use this object, app object we have to use. In this object, there is one function called get. So just we have to call get function. Now this get function will take two arguments. The first argument is route path. We call it as a route path. So how to define the route path means we have to add double quotes, then slash, and here we have to mention some path, some text we have to mention. I will say my first API. This is called route path. So this route path we are going to add in our URL. I will tell you how. So this is like, you can consider this is like address of this API. Address of this API. Now here we have to add slash, some text, and then second argument should be one callback function. And in this callback function, you will have the access of two objects. One is request object, one is response object. Now understand what we have done. We created one JavaScript file. This file name is server.js. Inside this server.js file, we created one HTTP server. We created HTTP server. This is HTTP server. And inside this HTTP server, we created one simple API. We created one simple API. This is called get API. So what is this get API? We are going to learn. Okay. So I will not write anything get here. Simply to keep things simple, I will write API. We created API. This is our API. Now, let's assume that I have here browser. I have browser in my system. So now browser is also in my system, and this particular server.js file is also in my same system only. Right now, browser and server both are present in same system. So now from my browser, what I can do, I can send one request. From my browser, I can send one request to the HTTP server. And from HTTP server, that request we can forward to this particular API. And once this API receives the request, now this API can send one response back to browser. And whatever response it is sending, that response we can display here. So browser can send one request. API can send response. Request and response are nothing but data. They are nothing but data format. They are nothing but data format. So we will explore more about request and response in tomorrow's session. So right now, understand request is nothing but it is like one data format. It is a format of data. So what is request and response in detail, I will explain in tomorrow's session. So from browser, we can send one request. Request will come to this API, and from API, response will come. Now, if you want to send the request to this API, then we have to create URL. We have to create URL. We have to create address of this API. How to create? So for that, we have to start with http://localhost. Till here, for every API, it will be same. http://localhost. Then we have to add colon, then our port number. What is the port number we have given? 3000. So 3000. Then slash we have to add, and we have to write this text. What is that? First API. So this is the address. This is the address of this API. If you want to send the request with this address, we have to send. Like this, I can create one more API. How to create one more API? Suppose if I want to create one more API, again I will use app.get. Now we have to give the different route path. So we call this as a route path. So we have to assign now different route path. I will say get users. Again here callback function. This is also request response. Now if you want to send the request to this API, then the URL will be something like this. So till port number it will be same. Only this part will change. That is get users. So now using this URL, you can copy this URL. You can open the browser. And in your address bar, you have to paste that URL, press on enter. When you press on enter, request will go. Now request will come here. Whenever request comes here, we have to send some response. So inside this callback function, we have to use this response object. So response dot, we have to call one function called send. And then we have to send it. I will say first response. And here I will say response dot send. I will say users data. Now what we need to do, we have to stop our server. So to stop our server, you have to press Ctrl+C. Again, you have to start. So whenever you do some changes, you have to stop the server, you have to restart it. Now let's go back here. Let's refresh it. Now see, you got first response. Now I will copy this. I will open new tab. I will add here get users. I got user data. See, I got here user data. Here I got first response. And I have different URLs now. This is get users. It is first API. So this is what API is. So a simple API. So we have created two APIs now. So technically we call it as a endpoints, not APIs also. API is like a very high level word, but technically the correct word is endpoints. So all these points will join. What is endpoint? What is URL? Everything will come. So right now you remember this as a API. This is API. This is API. Okay, guys, understood? So this is our first session. Like this, we are going to have nearly 3 to 5 sessions. So when you attend 3 to 5 sessions, then things will be more clearer to you. So here now there are so many terms we have to understand. We have to understand what is request, what is response. We have to understand what is HTTP server, why we are creating HTTP server. If you don't create, what happens? So these things we have to know. That is what we are going to explore in next session. In next session, we will understand what is HTTP server. We will discuss what is request, what is response, what are the request types. All those things we are going to discuss. So tomorrow, let's join at same time with same link. If link will change, then I will forward this new link in our community channel. So make sure you have joined that channel. So if there is any issue with the current link, then I will create new link and I will post in our WhatsApp community channel. Okay, this code and all this I will upload in our WhatsApp, guys. Recording also I will update and I will share the link with you guys. So if you want, you can watch one more time. Yeah, that's all, guys, from my end for today's session. Remaining things we will discuss in tomorrow's session.